Hey guys, what's up? Today I'll be showing you how to make this picture. It consists of several other pictures, obviously. This is Photoshop. If you hear my chair squeak, please excuse it. It's very, very squeaky. Also excuse the background noises. I don't have any sound dampening stuff yet. Anyway, this picture consists of, I think, 5 different pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think 5. This whole picture, including the ornament. Then there's the background picture for the ornament, which is just this tree and some snow. Then the woman, then the horse carriage, and then Santa, obviously. So let's get started. First, we use this picture. It doesn't really matter what size canvas you start off with when you open Photoshop, because you're just gonna be going to this picture. First of all, we'll crop this picture. All of the pictures I use here will be included with the Instructables. Yeah, with this Instructable. The reason I'm doing a commentary YouTube video is because I am very lazy and don't feel like doing all of the typing. Because I am an adult. So, this is done for now. Oops, sorry, I bumped my mic. So this picture's pretty much done for right now. Now we're going to go to the woman and do the painstaking outline of this woman, which I will speed up so that you don't have to watch the entire thing. If you are following along with this, just remember that the outline does not have to be perfect because the woman is going to be very small. So just do the general outline, like I'm doing here. I'm not even making it. Oh, I should probably make that one a bit rounder. There we go. I'm just doing a general outline, nothing fancy. And if you're like me and forget that when you pull on this line, it's gonna bend the line next to it, all you have to do, or what I mean to say, is if you do something like that to make the curve, the next line will also be curved, like that. So what I do is what everybody else does, you press Alt and then just tap on that one, and then the next line will be straight. It's just a general thing you pick up. Okay, so I'll speed up the rest so you don't gotta watch. And when you're getting to this bottom part right here, you don't have to do all the curves that are right here if you are using this picture. You don't have to use this picture. This is just a pic that I chose because it looks a bit more Christmassy. But you don't have to do all the curves right here because this is all going to be covered up later, this bottom part. So what you can do is just do the general, well, not general, just go around it. Stay a bit close to the cloth so you don't have to take away too much. And then I just come up right back here. And we'll just close that right there. Okay, so the general outline is done, and now I'm going to zoom out so you can see. See, I did just do a general thing. Don't worry about that spot right there. That you'll barely be able to see it once it's very small. So, yeah, that's pretty much done. Now what you need to do is make sure you're on your pen tool you're going to right click and do make selection. I have a feather radius of 0.5. You don't have to do that, but I think it makes it look more natural. Press OK, and it'll make the selection for you. Get the moving tool. I don't actually know what it's called. Shows you how much I know. And just move it here. Actually, I forgot to do something. I'm just gonna make her small real quick so that I can do what I was supposed to do first. What I was supposed to do first was get this picture, move it in here, I'll make it small, and put it as the background before I put the woman on there. I forgot to do that. Gonna make the opacity about 50% so I can see what I'm covering. Do that right there. You can move the tree anywhere you want in here. Just make sure you leave room for the carriage and the woman and Santa, of course. Gotta leave room for Santa. I put it about right here. Yeah, right there. I want to see a little bit of the roots. Yeah, looks good. Press OK. Now we're going to make the opacity 0, so that we can go in with the pen tool. Again, this is not my favorite way of cutting out stuff, but it works. Wasn't supposed to put it there. You're gonna start at the top up here, and you're just gonna do the outline of this ornament. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna shade out the edges. This is just to make a quick cut out of the picture. You don't actually have to do this. You can just use the brush and a layer mask to make it easier. But this is just what I do. You don't have to do what I do. Remember, I only learned this a week ago. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we have the general outline. We're gonna zoom back out, make the opacity back to 100. Now we're gonna go back to the pen tool and just whoops. Make sure we get the rest of the picture. Don't let any of this picture remain. And close path. Now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna right click, make a selection. I still have the feather radius at 0.5. Press OK, and now we are just going to press delete. There we go. Press Control D to deselect. Now we're gonna make the opacity about 70. Make it to where you can still see the color. I mean, you can mess with this all you want. Also, if you're having a different picture, you're gonna want to mess with it a lot more than I am. Just find to where it's slightly opaque. You can still see a little bit of the light in the background right there, but not too much to where it starts to become clear. So you can always come back and change it if you don't like it. I put it about 80. Now we're going to make a layer mask, a white one. If you happen to keep pressing Alt while you do it, it'll make a black one, and to change that, you just double click it and press invert. See, now it's black. Now it's white. Okay. Now we're going to go to the brush tool and make sure our foreground is white and our background is black. Make this bigger. And we're going to zoom in on the edges. Now for the brush, just make the opacity about 50 or 40. It all depends on the picture you're using. If you're using this picture, something is not right. Maybe it needs to be higher. Or maybe I'm doing something wrong. Oh, okay. Scratch that. Make sure your foreground is black, not white. And I'm going to turn this back down to 50 or 49, I don't care. That was my bad. So you're just gonna go around the edge like this once you get the the layer mask setting right. And we're just going around the edge here to make sure that we get some of that glare back on so that it actually looks like it's in a ball or an ornament, glass ornament. And I think I did it a bit too much. I'm gonna invert this and put this back down at about 20. Go back around the edges to make sure they're a bit tinted. Oop, nope. Get rid of this. Good. Okay. That looks good for now. See, now it looks like it's inside the ball because we got the glare on the outside. Now, to go back to the woman, we're going to put her... Ooh, wait, we need to move her on top of this. There we go. We're going to put her right there. Press Control T to make her smaller. Press Enter, and we're going to zoom in. Okay. Now, move her right there. Control T again. And to make it shrink from the center, or from outside to the center, like, if you just do this, she gets kind of distorted. So, to change that, just press Shift. Well, you can do Shift and it'll go from the side in. It'll keep the same aspect ratio, but if you press Control Alt at the same time, it will shrink her from the outside to the middle, or the middle to the outside, either way. So this is what I do. Make her a bit bigger. There we go. Now we still got the white up there, and it looks a bit choppy around the edges, so we're going to... Oh wait, no, we need to apply that. We're going to zoom in even more. Make a layer mask for her, a white layer mask. Go to this, make it a lot smaller. And we're just going to do the edges of her dress. You might want to turn the opacity up. We're just going to do the edges. And you can do like this to make it look like the snow is on her dress. But it's not necessary. Do the outside. This is just a, blend. It's actually not necessary when you zoom back out. But I like to do it for good measure. There we go. Now let's zoom out. And she is quite small. I mean, it fits the picture, yes, but if you're going to print it out, I want to make it a little bit bigger. Control T. How does that look? Oop. I keep forgetting to apply it. Okay. Fit on screen. Looks better. Okay. Now that we got those two, we're going to go to the horse carriage. Now, I am not going to do this with a pen because that would take forever. And so we're going to use the magic wand tool. So if you have this one right here shown, just hold, left click on it and hold, and it'll show you the magic wand tool. And then just click, and it'll choose everything that's white. But you can do this, or you can do what I'm about to do, which is invert it so that it just selects the horse and carriage. So inverse. Now it's just selecting the horse and carriage, and I can move them out of the picture. There we go. Now there is still white stuff down there, but we can get rid of that through blending. Okay, Control T. Make them a lot smaller, because they have to be smaller than the woman, but not too small to where you can actually see them. I think that looks good. You gotta make it smaller so that it shows distance, so it doesn't look like they're like 2D pictures, which they technically are. Apply. Now we're gonna go in and blend. So we need to make a layer mask for them, a white layer mask, and then just make sure your opacity is somewhere around 50, because it's at 100, you'll just cut right through the picture. You can do the legs over a little bit so that it makes it look like snowfall or fog or whatever's in front of them. And just get the glare back on there. Out, and now we got the horse carriage behind her, although the carriage is quite small, so it just kind of looks like there's horses running behind her, but that's fine. That is fine. Actually, it's not. I'm gonna make that bigger. Just a bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Now for Santa. And the good thing about Santa is that he's already cut out, because I did not want to cut him out, so I found one that was already cut out. Less work for us. Control T. Make a lot smaller, because he's in the air. Move him. Ooh, nope, wrong thing. Create a layer mask. There we go. Now, how does that look? Too big. Okay. Gonna move him about there. Control T. That looks about right, but he is quite a bit smaller. So just a tad bit bigger. I think that looks good. Now we have this. It's a Christmas scene inside of an ornament. Kind of a surreal art piece. Although not very surreal. I've seen some surreal artwork and it is weird. So now we're going to do something that's going to make it just like pop. We're going to add vibrance to it. There we go. And it does look a bit darker and not see-through anymore. So we're just going to go to this layer right here, the background layer, which is the tree and the snow. We're going to make this brush bigger. And I'm going to go to the layer mask and make this about 20. About 21, anyway. And just go over it once like that. I think that's a bit too opaque. So I'm going to lower that down to about 10. And you can just keep going over it until it's the until it's to the point that you like it. I think that's good. Actually, I feel foolish. I wasn't doing anything. I was on the wrong one. There we go. That's better. I wasn't even on the right layer mask and I said it was good. Okay, that's fine. I think that looks good. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. You know, all that good stuff. Check out my other Instructables. I also did a speed art of this if you want to watch that, although you did just make it, so I don't know why you would actually want to watch that. Okay, if you'd like more tutorials in the future, or if you would like to go to my DeviantArt, I'll add that in the video description and the Instructables instructions. On my DeviantArt, I have several other photoshopped things. And yeah, have a good day. Yeah. Hey guys, this is a postscript kind of thing. After the video ended, or tutorial, I guess, I thought that it could add a little bit more to the picture, so I went back and added some lights on the trees. Not big enough to where it outshone the picture, but big enough to where you could notice it in the picture and it adds a little bit to it. You can do that if you want to. Just put your own spin on it. Have fun with it. Thanks guys, thanks for watching.